Hi there. My name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find balance between their inner masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So, today it's kind of like part three of this little idea that I'm unfolding and unraveling for everyone, and showing how powerful it is in many different aspects of our lives. And this series started with the video where I called it Feminine Energy Does Not Wait. And then I did another video, See Only Love, like see with your eyes, see only love. And now this is kind of like part three, going deeper into that conversation. So if you haven't seen those other two videos, I really recommend you start there. Start with the one that's titled Feminine Energy Does Not Wait. And then you can see the one that says See Only Love. And then again, this is kind of like part three. So we're talking about when relationships trigger you, right? And I am particularly talking about relationships between you as a feminine and with a man and his masculine. So this is where I think I see things maybe a little bit differently than some other people tend to see things. And I've seen this trend in the past few years about people talking about relationships. And I actually really see it very disempowering. And it makes me really, really sad because I think at the bottom of the barrel here, we're missing the whole point that everyone has inner masculine and feminine energies inside of themselves. So if you think you need to be in a relationship and you are strictly in the feminine zone, and then you have a man who's in the masculine zone, and you think that's how this works, you're missing out on the emotional fulfillment and intimacy that could be possible to you in a relationship because you're missing the whole point that both of you have masculine and feminine energies inside of you. And so, if you're looking to be the feminine and simply in the feminine role and only the feminine energy, and then you think the man has to be in the masculine energy and in the masculine lane, then you're never going to feel whole and complete by yourself because you're looking outside of yourself to complete you when you already have all of that internally. You already have your own inner masculine energy. The problem is that most of us women who are identifying with a feminine core, I call myself a divine feminine because I identify more with the feminine energy, but I have not ignored my masculine aspect. The problem is that the masculine energy that most women are embracing is a wounded masculine energy. And I was stuck in that groove for a long time. If any of you have listened to my other videos prior, I've talked about my own personal story of how I spent the majority of my life living in a really unhealthy masculine energy and forcing myself to like do all the things, sacrifice, overgive, overthink, overdo, forcing my way through my life until I literally could not anymore and my body fell apart. And I started allowing myself to embrace my feminine energy, the feminine energy where I love to be and where I feel so relaxed and full of relief, right? So we have to really bring all these things in together and understand I have masculine and feminine within me, and I get to decide the balance of the two. And when I allow my masculine and feminine to harmonize together, to integrate together, to collaborate together, then I feel really good in my life. I feel emotional fulfillment because I have all the aspects of me healthy and working together harmoniously, also called inner union by some, inner union. I have that harmony going, and then I can be in romantic partnership or friend partnership, whatever level of relationship is happening outside of me. There can be deep harmony and connection and intimacy there, and I can help my partnerships as well in supporting their needs in growing their inner masculine and feminine energies in their own balance. So back to now that I've covered all that ground, it took me a bit. Let's go back to the original thought about when relationships trigger you. right? So if you take all that I just said and start to kind of incorporate that in, right, conceptually, and feel into that, then maybe we start seeing triggers a little bit differently. Because if there's a trigger happening in your relationship, it's simply just showing someone's out of alignment somewhere energetically. That's all it's doing, is highlighting the fact that something has happened in this relationship dynamic that has brought to the surface something that needs to be healed, something that needs to be balanced, something that needs to come back into alignment with the true self, the authentic self, the pure self, the higher self. That's all that's happening. So I really feel like we need to stop looking at relationships of like pointing the finger at the other person and then getting ourselves all in this like horrendous negative space when triggering happens and quickly labeling relationships as toxic or quickly pointing at someone else and calling them a narcissist or all of these things. And I'm not saying that these things do not exist. That is not what I'm saying. And I'm not advising for anyone to stay in a toxic, abusive relationship. Clearly, I am not. I have chosen to leave relationships myself. What I'm saying is, we need to stop being so quick to look at negative dynamics that happen in a relationship or triggers when they come up and point at the finger at the other person, blame the other person without seeing what's really happening and seeing the potential for growth and healing in the dynamic. We're missing out. So this is how this clicks into the other videos I was talking about, particularly the one prior about see only love. You can choose to see anything in your life as good or bad, as fear or love, as separation or unity. You can choose. And if you choose to look at triggers that come up in your relationship dynamic, if you choose to see them as there's simply something out of alignment, it's a lot softer. It feels a lot better. It feels less scary. It's less blamey, and it helps you take responsibility. And when you take responsibility, now you're taking your power back because you're saying, I have the power to change something somewhere. I have the power to shift something. Something better and healthier and harmonious is possible here. I just have to figure it out or find the path. That is seeing only love. That is choosing to look at these triggers in a really healthy growth mindset kind of way. I really feel like we've gotten into this culture of being in a lot of fear around relationships and quickly running away or escaping or breaking up or leaving these relationships at when they start really getting real. That's all it is it's when these relationships really start getting real, instead of seeing them as opportunities for massive self-growth and expansion and then deepening of the partnership, deepening of the connection. Triggers are simply to show you that the masculine and feminine energies inside of you are out of balance somewhere. And you're denying yourself your power. You're denying yourself your higher self, your more magical, big, beautiful, divine feminine self when you choose to just run away or blame the other person. You know, I talked in one of those previous videos about powerlessness. And if you're in a state of powerlessness, you've literally gone back into your childhood. You're in some kind of childhood wounding trauma situation. Because when you're a child, you are, in essence, powerless. You are at the mercy of the adults around you, your caretakers, your parents, whatever your childhood dynamic was. So now that you are an adult, you always have a choice, and you can choose to separate and go into fear and blame someone else and hold them responsible for your unhappiness or your triggers. Or you can choose the love and the unity and the bigger mindset of choosing to take responsibility for your own happiness and your own love and your own fulfillment. You can choose that. And in so doing, it brings the partnership, the relationship closer together into deeper intimacy. I read a statistic not that long ago from a psychiatrist talking about how most relationships don't last past 3 years, like 1 to 3. The 1 to 3 year mark for relationships is when most of them end. And it really kind of was great when I read it because it kind of validated my whole thought process on all of these things that I'm talking about. Of like, that's the whole point, is once you get out of the like easy breezy, ooh la la honeymoon stage, in the beginning, and then the real life starts happening. You're integrating lives together. You're trying to coordinate lives together, different backgrounds, different family stories, different life experiences, different genders. You're trying to bring all these pieces in together. That's when things get really, really real. That's when the triggers come up. So it's really just about getting real. Maybe nothing is wrong. What if nothing is wrong? It's how you're choosing to look at it, or how you're choosing to approach the triggers or the difficulties. What if that's what's wrong? So I hope this video helped. I'm going to leave it here. I don't want to go further into this today. Maybe I'll expand on it more later. But I just wanted to put this message out there to really start shifting relationships, because I feel like there's so much room for growth and healing and connection and intimacy that we're missing out on when we're checking out or abandoning these relationships too soon. So I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in it, I would greatly appreciate if you would like and subscribe to support my channel, and have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.